What a week it's been. We truly wanted to be live with you this week, and I feel like we've achieved that goal. Just so you know, the ice cream was real, and Rocky Road may be my favorite. I want to thank the staff team, Becky, Katie, and Megan, who have been chatting and responding to your questions, our communications partner, Casey, and the Serendipity team, Peggy, Kate, and Betty from Precision Meetings and Events, and of course, Mac and the Image Audiovisual crew here in Denver. And to all of you, thank you for participating in the 2021 SYTA Annual Conference and Business Appointments. As we conclude our week together, we are thrilled to kick off the 25th anniversary year of SYTA. Since inception, SYTA has grown, evolved, and impacted the student travel industry in ways we couldn't imagine. Over the next year, we will share with you conversations from members, discuss the meaningful work SYTA has done, and celebrate the impact we've had on students across the globe. If we were meeting in person, the clock would mark the final appointment, and we would be walking from the show floor, passing board members and volunteers clapping to celebrate another great show. We may not be in person, but we can still enjoy looking at past shows, seeing our friends, and sharing perspectives on SYTA's past, present, and future. As many of you know, 25 years ago, SYTA was started because two tour operators, Rip and Bruce, came together with a desire to create standards for our industry. But to get an association started, it required the support, not only from operators, but suppliers as well. It's no surprise that many suppliers stepped up to help kick off the association and set us on the path we are today. What makes SYTA so incredibly special is the relationships that have evolved over the years. To say we are a community is an understatement. One very special friend and partner to SYTA is Fred Dixon at NYC & Company. Fred and SYTA have grown up together, seeing the industry evolve and grow. I am so thrilled to have Fred and NYC & Company with us today as our closing session sponsor. Fred, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Caroline. It is such an honor to be here, and I want to start off by saying congratulations to you and the team on this Herculean effort this week. It's been so wonderful to see SYTA come together virtually, and I know you feel the same. We can't wait to be back together, but I'm incredibly honored to be here. I'm glad you didn't pull up too many old pictures of me from the old days, but I feel like with my COVID-19, I'm getting back to that. But it's an incredible honor to be here, and I just want to say how proud I am to be part of this moment to help kick off SYTA's 25th anniversary and to help begin this year-long narrative.
Thank you.
And you said a little bit about my story with SYTA, and I do feel like I grew up with SYTA, and I value those days with Bruce and Rip, and I hope they've thrown away those napkins where they wrote all our notes from those early days. But it really helped shape my career. It helped gave me focus and what I wanted to do with my life, and really helped me have opportunities and really eventually helped lead me to New York. I don't think I would be where I am today if it weren't for the deep friendships and relationships that I've formed at SYTA. So it is very much near and dear to my heart. And some of my very best relationships and friendships have been made right here at SYTA and remain there. So I want to thank you. Having said that, I can't underestimate or stress the importance of this community and the role that it plays in the travel industry and the engagement that it brings. We're all learning to operate in this virtual environment right now. But I don't know how you all feel, but I very much feel that it is a moment. This is a temporary thing. And it is going to become a supplement, I think, to the way that we engage face-to-face going forward. Digital's definitely brought a lot of amazing amplification and opportunities, but it'll never replace the importance of face-to-face. It may be how we're doing business today, but it will not be how we do business always. After all, right, there's a reason that people travel. There's a reason that schools take field trips. Those in-person real-life experiences just cannot be replicated. And I know you all join me in saying that I can't wait to get back to that. So having said that, I want to just underline, Caroline's points and re-stress New York City's commitment to SYTA and the fact that we are pursuing holding Summit in New York City in January 2022. It's an incredibly proud moment for us. We have so much to share for what is offered on New York City in the next year. We've been hard at work building our programs, and we can't wait to have you all here. And of course, we will all be together in person. I think I just muted myself. We've all been evolving here, of course, during COVID, just like everyone else has. And we're proud to say that New York City, remains the top student destination in the country. We recognize that, there are challenges at the moment with changing rules, but our staff is here to support you. If there's anything we can do to answer questions or facilitate, any of the narratives that you're having in the community, please don't hesitate to let us know. We're here to do what we can to make New York City and a visit to New York easy to access. So having said that, I just want to say, the other important work that we've been undertaking, I know so many of you have as well, is in the areas of diversity and inclusion. I'm proud of my colleagues and the incredible work that they've been undertaking. I know John Marshall has been part of this week. And John, you have been at the forefront of this dialogue. And I personally thank you from the depths of my heart for the work and commitment that you've shown to New York and helping us to lift up the communities that perhaps haven't always been at the table as much as they should have. Also in the veins of accessibility and sustainability, New York City is proud to continue to create opportunities and to lead the way. So having said that, I want to thank Carol Ann again for all of her work and her team. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for all your support of New York City. I want to wish everyone a tremendous year ahead. We will get through this together. And now, please enjoy seeing SYTA's past, present, and future. Back over to you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Fred, for your support of SYTA and our student travelers. As our past president, Steve, said on Monday, we would get a chance to see his 25-year photos. Steve not only shows us his photos, but shares a walk down memory lane with us. Take a look.
Hey, SYTA family, I'm here with my kiddos. We were just talking about how we're already into our second week of school, which is wild. Taylor, what's been your favorite class so far?
Probably drum class and jazz band.
That's great. You're an excellent drummer, and maybe someday you'll get a chance to perform at the theme parks or New York City or maybe even internationally.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
I've noticed you've been really busy with SYTA this week.
Yeah, we have a lot going on. As you know, SYTA is the premier international association for student travel. And we have our live virtual conference going on this week. So that's kept us really busy, keeping everyone up to date on what's going on with SYTA.
Have you always been a part of SYTA?
Oh gosh, no, not me. SYTA's been around longer than I've been in student travel. SYTA's been around, in fact, for 25 years. And part of this week is we're celebrating our 25-year anniversary of when it all started.
What were you doing 25 years ago?
Well, 25 years ago, 1997, that was the year I graduated from high school. So here is my yearbook here from when I graduated, and we'll throw up some pictures of back then when I graduated from high school. But that was also the year that I started traveling quite a bit.
Did you travel much back then?
Well, when I was a kid and I was your age, student travel wasn't a big thing where I grew up. So I didn't get to go on trips to Washington, D.C. and other places like that. But in 1997, 25 years ago, I did get to start traveling quite a bit. That's kind of where I got my start. So I went to Hawaii that year. I did a service trip to Mexico, and I did my first overseas trip 25 years ago. I traveled to Europe for a couple of weeks. Here's some pictures. And in that time, I really got a love for international travel. That's probably where I got my passion for what I get to do now.
What was it like traveling back then?
Well, it was a lot different than it is now. We used to have to go to a travel agency where we would pay by a check and they would print out paper tickets for us. Later on, I would go to a STA, a student travel agency, where they'd give us student discounts. We didn't have smartphones, so the only way to get around was by paper maps that we would use. That we'd have to look at to figure out where we were going. We had guidebooks that we would use to figure out where to stay and what to see. The planes had a lot more legroom for someone like me back then. Planes even had phones. In every seat you had a phone that you pull out of a cord and you swipe your credit card through, and that's how you would call people. We had pay phones. You would have to put coins into a phone, and that was the only way that you could get a hold of someone. Or you'd go into a payphone box, and internet cafes even came later than that. The only way to connect to people was to go to a cafe, pay money for a certain amount of internet, and that was how we could connect with people.
Wow.
When did you get started in student travel, and do you know more about SYTA starting?
Yeah, well, I got my start 20 years ago. That's when I started tour guiding. In Europe is where I first got my start. And it all took off from there. But 25 years ago, a group of tour operators got together and decided that they wanted to establish a set of standards for our industry. And here we are today, 25 years later, SYTA is today. We're at our live virtual conference, and I've been the president for the last year, but there's been a lot of great presidents before me and a lot of history to SYTA. But I wasn't around from the beginning, so why don't we try to find out some more about when it all started and what happened.
As SYTA entered its first decade, members gathered in small meeting rooms, in hotel hallways, and wherever we could bring passionate volunteers together to share their passion for student travel. And then, the world as we knew it began to change. The events of 9/11 dramatically challenged the landscape of student travel forever. Initially, we all thought the future of student travel was bleak, and it would take years to recover from this horrific event. Fortunately, from the ashes came a drive and a spirit that would enable our extreme growth, until COVID reminded us how our industry would again be challenged. The SYTA board and all its members learned how important it was to scream our message from every hilltop we could find. We lobbied mayors, school boards, teachers, superintendents, local officials, and anyone who would listen to the incredible importance student travel makes on society. We somehow learned to navigate TSA and baggage checks with students, for which this would become a regular part of travel. The SYTA Youth Foundation developed its roots during this time. SYF became a beacon for SYTA to rally around, and a place where an industry could make an impact on students. Over the years, SYF stood up to tragedies like Katrina that impacted so many kids, and today provides an outlet for travel-based education and unique opportunities for all students regardless of financial need. As 9/11 enveloped society, I sent my first child across the country to college. Personally, it was my two children who taught me how to stand up, speak up, and move forward. In 2004, the Red Sox finally won the World Series. For this lifelong fan, it brought hope back to our city. The Duck Boats of Boston, long a student travel staple, received worldwide attention, and Boston demonstrated its position as a student travel market. Branson, Missouri created its position as a student travel destination. As travel shied away from cities, Branson stood up, invested in SYTA and itself, as it created opportunities for students to see new places and explore our country. Oh, and the SYTA band. As I sat at a conference in San Jose, or maybe it was Anaheim, I was blessed to watch Shannon stand up at the lobby bar and sing as Patrick Connor played. It was incredible. Later, these two and so many others would get together and form the SYTA band. Not any band of talented musicians from SYTA's community, but an exceptional group of people who would get together, practice, and grow. Today, that band serves as a beacon for SYTA. For my beloved SYF, the band leaves an indelible mark on our community and represents SYTA, and especially SYF, with passion, endurance, and spirit. So many others have made us who we are. Norm Hull with his inspiring words, every charter member of SYTA and SYF who kept us afloat, Michael Palmer, who got us started for real, and especially our current leader, Carol Ann, who not only keeps us going, but who I am so fortunate to call friend. I was president during 9/11. It made me grow up instantly. SYTA dragged me there, and I will always be grateful. More importantly, though, all of you have created and expanded SYF. What you have done for children, students, and society is without reproach. COVID has changed us forever. I pray that we can again muster new strengths to be the leader in expanding the educational landscape for our children. At our first conference in Orlando, sitting on a hallway floor because we could not afford meeting space, I was handed a wooden coin from a guest speaker from Alaska, which I still carry to this day. Her message to all 8 of us sitting there together was, we must work together because then we will be better and stronger. Her coin said, WIT, whatever it takes.
Hi, I'm Greg Moore, SYTA President 2002 to 2003, and SYTA member since 1997. Student and youth travel has changed dramatically over the past 25 years. Travel has become more experiential, and travelers are further immersing themselves in destination-specific activities and events. Travelers are also more conscious of the environment they are interacting within. The current generation of student and youth are highly travel savvy and are better informed and educated on their destination than they were back in 1997. Technology now plays a greater role in tour and travel planning for both the client and the travel planner, and the supplier has incorporated technology on many levels into their hands-on experiences. What remains constant is the relevance of the travel planner and tour operator. The importance of the travel planner has also changed in that we now occupy a role more vital than ever before, navigating the educators and students through the fluid twists and turns of a brave new world. SYTA and its members will take on greater roles providing unique and rewarding travel opportunities in the next several years and beyond. Congratulations, SYTA, on 25 years.
Thank you, Neil Waldman and Greg Moore, for sharing your passion for SYTA and for SYF. The early years certainly had their share of challenging times, many of which changed how students traveled and how we worked with our student groups. Who knew that you could actually move groups through TSA, have your luggage checked for 3-ounce bottles, and still make the flight on time? What remained constant was our association in the community, for which we are grateful. Now, I do have to apologize to those who never wanted to see those photos again, and for everyone that we may have missed today. As we moved out of the early 2000s, SYTA grew as an association, and so did the challenges and opportunities. Let's hear from Shannon Carter, our past president from Australia.
SYTA for me has been both life-changing and truly life-enriching. Over the years, we've seen our industry grow and change. Our travellers and their families have changed. We've adapted to new technology and implemented new strategies to manage our tours better. But the one key thing for me is our SYTA community. The diverse tapestry of our members and the thousands upon thousands of communities we serve is what I love about SYTA. We are our own mentors, supporters, cheerleaders and adventure seekers. Caroline Asante joined SYTA in 2010 as our new executive director. With her leadership and work with each and every board of directors since her appointment, we have matured into our 25 years. Leading up to our 20th anniversary, we met in New York, Nashville, LA, Toronto, Branson and Orlando. And during this time, the ongoing dedicated efforts of the International Committee really started to reap rewards for our members. More SYTA members added international programs to their trips, and we no longer began conversations qualifying whether a tour was inbound or outbound. The world opened up to many more students, and we embraced being a global association. New partners in the industry emerged, and we began working more closely with international allied organisations who began to look to SYTA for leadership. It was my honour to serve as the first international president from outside North America. My key highlight is actioning the major research project, which is now the Student and Youth Travel Digest. It became the benchmark for our industry's future, and SYTA garnered national press coverage. During these years, the bond between SYTA and the SYTA Youth Foundation became even stronger. The SYTA All-Star Band hit the circuit 4 times during this period and helped raise some significant dollars for the SYTA Youth Foundation. It used to be a tradition many years ago to end each conference with a black tie event. In Orlando, we celebrated our 20th anniversary with a black tie gala. Seeing everyone all dressed up and celebrating this great milestone and huge achievement was truly special. It was a great night of fun and friendship too. That's SYTA in a nutshell, really. Fun and friendship. We work hard, we play hard, but we remember our core goal and that by supporting one another, we are stronger together. We have so much to be proud of, and there's still so much more to come.
When SYTA began 25 years ago, travelers used single-use film cameras to capture their memories. Today, they have a smartphone in their pocket. So yes, the way we capture and preserve the memories of the trip of a lifetime has changed, but the value of them is as great as ever and easier than ever to see. Like everyone in the travel industry, technology has been our friend. When we started out 20 years ago, we mailed single-use film cameras to the groups. They would take pictures along the way and mail them back. We would process the pictures, capture the image after printing the pictures, and then make the video on a VHS tape and then mail them back to the school. Quite a process. The digital cameras came around about 2004, so we started to mail these to the group, and when the cameras came back, the images were already digital, making our production a little bit easier to do, and the quality improved as well. Some people had VCRs and others had the new DVD players, so we sent out both. Eventually, VCRs gave way to the DVDs, which eventually replaced them. Then came along smartphones and apps. Oh boy, that was a big change. We made our first app in 2012. As we phased out shipping digital cameras, we were able to get the images right off of our server that were uploaded by travelers who were using our app while on tour. And now today, DVDs have given way to streaming thanks to high-speed internet connections. A huge technological breakthrough for the world in general. Rapid technological changes have created opportunities to update our app over the past 9 years as well. It is no longer just a private photo sharing app or video. It is now used as a tool for the group leader to manage their trip with group messaging, document sharing, and assist in locating travelers who may have gotten separated from the others. Instead of DVDs, videos are now streamcast from their phones directly to their TVs in their living room. Yes, technology impacted our company and the entire industry in a relatively short period of time. You can bet more changes will happen, probably faster than ever before. But one thing technology has not changed is the value of the memories that we, all of us as SYTA members, in our way of contributing to the creating of these memories of a lifetime. Technology is great and it will constantly change, but the value of memories will stay the same.
Thank you, Dave, for being the keeper of our memories and photos. Next year, we will find a way for all of you to create your own SYTA photo album from the many thousands of photos that we have collected over the years. For our new members joining us today, we can't wait to add you to the family album. As Shannon mentioned, I joined SYTA in 2010, and New York City was my first conference. Over the years, I have been fortunate to have supportive leaders and terrific staff. In addition to my family, the one person who has always been with me is Becky Armley. You are passionate about SYTA and work tirelessly to respond to our members. Techie Becky, as we lovingly call you, thank you. Our walk down memory lane takes us to the last 5 years of our journey. Along the way, we lost family members, good friends, colleagues, and mentors. We are forever grateful for the friendship and the impact they had on our lives. In 2016, our association was full of hope and innovation. During this time, we enjoyed some of the greatest growth our association has ever seen. We had close to 1,000 members from over 30 countries, and our membership grew with passionate young professionals who questioned our old ways and made us welcome the new. We even added the SYTA mobile app and yearbook to our events, and we may even sunset the treasured binders. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn became a way for us to connect with each other and share experiences. We launched the CSTO certification and the Student Travel Business Barometer. We held our meetings in new destinations like Albuquerque, Baltimore, and Birmingham. For the summit, we traveled to Banff Lake Louise, Costa Rica, and Puerto Rico. For 2020, we were mesmerized by the northern lights of Manitoba and the prospect of finally seeing Winnipeg, which we will do in 2023. During this time, SYTA moved to self-management, and we opened our first headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, where we welcomed members excited to see our new digs. We were optimistic about the future. And then, as you know, our world was changed forever. It's fair to say our association and industry are forever changed as a result of the worldwide pandemic. But much like every challenge we have faced as an association, we rise when we come together to learn, grow, and be better as a result of our adversity. I cannot predict what the future holds, nor do I have the answers to all your questions. But what I do know is we will be a stronger association moving forward. We responded with virtual meetings and events, created toolkits and resources, and more importantly, reached out to one another to see how we were doing and to offer help and support. My hope is we continue acting as one unified voice for student travel. This is not an end to our celebration, but a kickoff to a year of events commemorating our past and advocating for not only our future, but that of the young travelers in our care. We know many of you may not have been a part of SYTA's past, but you are a part of our future. We hope that you will volunteer, take part in events, and share your knowledge with us. We are truly a membership organization that values your thoughts, input, and opinions. To everyone, past, present, and future, thank you for being on our amazing journey. And as I throw this to 2022, I wish all of you the best, and I cannot wait to see you in person. Cheers to being together for the 2022 SYTA Annual Conference in Washington, D.C. Here is a very special message from Destination D.C.
Hi, I'm Elliot Ferguson, President and CEO of Destination DC. I can't wait to see you all live and in person at SYTA 2022 in my hometown, Washington, D.C. We're excited to host you for the first time since 2001, and we're very happy to celebrate your 25th anniversary. As you know, DC's monuments, memorials, and museums make us a leading destination for student groups, but there's so much more to see and do in our neighborhoods. Speaking of neighborhoods, your home away from home next August will be the historic Washington Hilton, located in the vibrant DuPont Circle neighborhood just steps away from great shops and restaurants. To show you all that awaits in DC, I've invited a few friends to guide you around the city. Enjoy!
Hi, I'm Teddy. Like Elliot said, DC has over 90 museums and galleries, including 17 Smithsonian museums and the zoo. Plus, tons of hidden gems like the Belmont Paul Women's Equality National Monument and President Lincoln's Cottage. That's a lot. You can even see groups perform on the National Mall. It's so cool to hear choirs and bands play on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. DC has helped me learn so much about science, art, politics, history, and architecture.
Did you say President Lincoln's Cottage? That's near the National Arboretum. I love riding my bike there to check out the original Capitol columns and the cherry blossom trees. If you enjoy biking like me, visit one of our many bike share stations and pedal up to the National Zoo, which is super close to your hotel, to see our giant pandas. If biking isn't your favorite thing, there are tons of other outdoor activities. 1/4 of DC is green space. We were even awarded the #1 best city park system. If you love the water, you can take a kayak tour or sightseeing cruise. You can even take a boat to Nationals Park or Audi Field for a game.
All this biking has made me hungry. Washington, D.C. is a global town, and you can discover its diversity through our tasty food scene. We have Michelin-starred restaurants and local staples, and you can explore the international flavors on your own or with a guided food tour. Some of my favorite dishes are the famous half smoke from Ben's Chili Bowl and Dukum's Ethiopian injera bread. I also love the city's many food trucks, which let me try a lot of different international foods.
Hey, I'll meet you at Ben's for dinner. Ben's Chili Bowl is located on U Street, a historic Black Broadway where jazz greets like Duke Ellington walk. Black history is woven into the fabric of DC, and there are so many places around the city where you can learn more. Be sure to check out the African American Civil War Memorial and Museum, Howard University, Black Lives Matter Plaza, and the Smithsonian's Anacostia Community Museum.
When you're here, be sure to check out our new attractions like Planet Word and renovated spaces like the National Building Museum. Our iconic museums and memorials have also expanded to include the Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial, the National Native American Veterans Memorial, and the National World War I Memorial. There's so much to see and do in DC, and most of it is free. My friends and I can't wait to welcome you to DC next year, where we'll be showcasing our neighborhood's incredible dining scene and world-class entertainment during a special nighttime event. See you there.
Hello, everyone. I'm Muriel Bowser, Mayor of Washington, D.C. Our nation has been through a lot over the past year and a half. Collectively, we sacrificed so much to save lives and get the virus under control. In DC, we have missed the millions of people who visit our city each year, and especially our youngest visitors, who come here always excited to be in the nation's capital. We enjoy seeing groups of our students walk around our city, making memories that will last a lifetime. From our historic monuments, museums, and memorials to our world-class arts and culture scene, to our vibrant local neighborhoods, there's so much to see and do in Washington, D.C., and we love sharing our city with the world. We look forward to welcoming all of our visitors back, including all the attendees at next year's Student and Youth Travel Association annual conference. So we'll see you next August and maybe on a class trip before then.
Thank you, Elliot and Mayor Bowser, for your remarks. We hope you enjoyed today's walk down memory lane. Over the next year, we plan to celebrate 25 years of student travel. If you have memories or a milestone you'd like to share, please reach out to myself or the SYTA staff. We would love to hear from you and celebrate all our successes together. Before I close, I would also like to thank Fred and NYC & Company for sponsoring today's closing session. On behalf of the entire SYTA staff and Board of Directors, I would like to thank you for joining us for the 2021 SYTA Virtual Annual Conference. And I would also like to invite you to join us in DC at the 2022 SYTA Annual Conference. Details related to registration will be in your inbox soon. See you all in DC.